All right. Check, check, 1, 2. All right, here we go. Let's do this. This is the NFL Week 1 Swamy show. Can you guys hear this stuff in the background? Is this thing working? Somebody that might be watching this live, particularly, I know it's working on mixlr.com. But yes, I'm your host, Antoine. A good Week 1 week to you. NFL starting Thursday. I don't know when you're going to listen to this show. This has been recorded prior to Thursday. Just so you know, it is Tuesday, September 4th. But welcome to the Swamy Pick Show. I know a lot of you guys are going to catch this show after the fact, which is fine. I just hope you watch it at the very least before Sunday. Because, of course, most of the things I'm going to talk about are based on Week 1 here in the NFL. I will probably be doing this weekly. There's other podcasts that I'm going to be a part of in the NFL. But right now, this is what we got. Stick with me. We'll talk about your survivor pool. We'll talk about some of the win totals to take. I'm going to go through all the win totals for all the NFL teams today, which will be great. We are going to also break down the spreads for Week 1. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, 2 ways to get a hold of this live right now. If you are live, you're on one of the other platforms. One is mixlr.com. That is just audio. And then if you are on YouTube, which I just started doing this YouTube channel, that's why I was asking if you guys could hear it on YouTube. But yeah, you can go to the channel is Stream 35. And I encourage you on both platforms, you should follow on MixLR, Stream 35 Radio. And then you should also follow this YouTube channel, Stream 35, because there's going to be all kinds of stuff. I mean, we do this weekly show now where we talk about other things beyond sports. So whatever you're into, we'll have something for you. Of course, this is the show a lot of people have been waiting for because everybody's getting ready for the season. The only thing we won't talk about in this show is fantasy. Oh yeah, I forgot to. Damn it! I don't know why I opened this show with Autumn Wind. I just think it's a show that lets you know that the NFL is back. But I just came across this, and nothing beats this. This is, if you guys haven't seen it yet, the Nathan Peterman hype video. Why is it playing that? It's playing the NBA. Oh, hold on. I don't want to. I gotta start the silver hole. This is unbelievable. Best 37 seconds ever. If you are on YouTube, you can watch it with me. So if you aren't watching on the YouTube channel right now, you missed some crazy stuff there. You can also get a Buffalo Bills hat there. Let's get that on the screen. So if that doesn't get you hyped up for the NFL, I don't know what will. Nathan Peterman is the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. And I think I would like to start the show with going through rather than the spreads. We'll save that. Let's start off. Let's talk about the win totals that they've got set for the teams this year. So, of course, some of you that might be new to gambling, you can, they put out the win totals, and they're usually pretty sharp. I mean, they'll always have some that are off every year for all the teams. And not only that, not only is it for gambling purposes, but you can kind of get a gauge of where everybody thinks your team is going to fit. So there's a lot of mid-range teams, and when I say that, like 8-win teams predicted. But let's go ahead and start this off right away. We'll talk about those Buffalo Bills, led by Nathan Peterman. And if you can see below, these are the spreads. If you're on YouTube watching this, the spreads are at the bottom of the screen there. And again, if you want to watch it on YouTube, just go to Stream 35. You don't have to put a space. Just search it. And then you can also get an inside look at the studio. And then we can talk about what's going on with your teams. I might open the phones up. I'll see. This is kind of a show more meant for people to watch when they can. If you want to chat, I'll address your comments. But for right now, let's just roll through these, because I know this is what the people want. Everyone's been waiting for the show, and I've been trying to find time to do it. So, again, I'm Antoine. You're listening to Stream 35 Radio. Let's go through these NFL win totals. These are predicted wins for each team. I'll start from lowest to highest. So, the Buffalo Bills, they've got them to win 5 games. That means if you want to bet the Buffalo Bills, and they won, and you bet the over, and they win 6 games, you win some money. If you bet the over and they win 4 games, you lose some money. If they win 5, everybody gets their money back. And then you can, of course, bet the under as well. So they're saying the Nathan Peterman Buffalo Bills are going to win 5 games. This number, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is a pretty sharp number. I would not be surprised if this Bills team, and here's the thing, the NFC East, you got to play New England twice. Bills aren't winning either of those games. And on top of that, the Jets and Dolphins, I mean, you can make an argument they're just as in bad shape. It's going to be tough for the Bills. I was looking at their schedule. We can break it down really quickly. Because this is the lowest total, it's always interesting. And you guys are probably thinking, where are the Browns? Are the Browns 5? No, they're not. Stick with me and you'll find out where they're at. But what are we doing here? We're looking for the Bills schedule. I thought I prepared these graphics and everything. I thought you guys would appreciate that. Now I just got to find out where they've got. Well, I told you they're in a tough division. I don't really like. You guys can argue with me on the chat, but I don't like the over or under for the Buffalo Bills. So I don't have to dive too deep into that one, but I think this Peterman thing is going to be tough, and I also think that they're a team that by no means is playing for this season. They're thinking for next season, and that's when you're playing these win totals, you got to be careful. And 5, I'm telling you, on a 5 and under is hard to hit, especially when you play the New York Jets twice, the Miami Dolphins twice. They're just hard to hit, and it looks like the Bills they're starting off in Chicago, so they're going to have to play that division. I don't like this either way. So I put it out there just to let you guys know. That's what they've got to the lowest win team. All right, let's go to the next. Who we got next? 6 wins. I didn't put any spread at 5.5. There's your Browns, along with the Jets and the Buccaneers. 6 wins. That means on the under, because you know when you think the crappy teams, you're more than likely going to go under. So if you look at the under on these 3, I don't know. The Jets kind of worry me. I feel like Sam Darnold's going to pull off a decent year. I'm not going to say he's playoffs or anything. Buccaneers. I mean, they're gonna struggle, but I could see them right around 6-10, so I'd stay away from that. The Browns, in order to lose this Browns bet, you'd have to say that the Browns are going to win 7 games and go 7-9 from winning 1 game in 2 years. So I'm going to just say it. The Browns under 6 wins is good value. It should be more like 4.5 because you got to crawl before you walk. And that is one of my plays that I am eyeing. Jets kind of scare me. I would say under on Jets, but I said under on Jets last year, and it was I think 5.5, and they buried me on that one. So Todd Bowles, I can't knock him too much. He's a former Redskin. Can't knock the former Redskins too much. So I think that the Jets will find a couple wins. So on that, on there, I do like the Jets under, or I'm sorry, the Browns under. Out of those, let's move on. Let's go to. I completely forgot the 5.5 win team, the Arizona Cardinals. 5.5 wins. I don't know. That's some disrespect there to Mr. Sam Bradford. But they did lose their coach, so a new guy in town, and they play in a division that some say could be tough this year because some are expecting the revival of the 49ers. Anybody that's listening on MixLR, by the way, we have a YouTube channel now, Stream 35. You don't have to put a space, just search the channel and follow that. Only 2 people are watching that right now. It's pretty disturbing. Get a free look at the studio. You get to look at me. Come on now. All right, 5.5 wins. I'm sorry for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't like it because I want to say under, but again, after what happened last year with the Jets, and I thought that was a lock. They managed to pull some games out. I think this Cardinals team will do the same thing. Not only that, my beloved Redskins are underdogs in Arizona this week, but we'll get to all the week 1 spreads as well if you're waiting for that stuff. It's just right to the point. We're not going to sit here, and we're not talking fantasy, people, okay? We don't do that here. Getting right to the point. So I went through the 6-win teams, Cardinals, 5.5. Let's talk about, there are no 6.5 numbers out there on the lines. I know, of course, some of you that have books, you can play weighted lines, but these are the straight-up ones. All right, 7 wins. There's your 7-win teams. Hold on, let's get that thing out of the way. There they are. Look at that. They've got 5 teams predicted to go 7-9. The Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Indianapolis Colts, the Miami Dolphins, and the Washington Redskins. All predicted to win 7 games. And you listen to the NFL show. You might be listening on MixLR if you want to check it out on YouTube. Again, look, we got it up to 4 watchers now on YouTube, so people are listening. People, just search Stream 35. Go right to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, then you'll know when we have content. We'll have all kinds of content this year. So the Bears, the Bengals, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Redskins, all predicted to be just almost 500 with 7 wins. So out of these, I did take a look at these schedules too. And again, I'm not going to bore you with every breakdown, every freaking game like they do everywhere else. The Bears are going to have a tough time this year. I like that under as well. If you're late on the show, you can catch this from the beginning, by the way, if you're like, damn, I want to hear those other ones. So we'll get you caught up. The Bengals are a 7-win team. I think that's a pretty fair number, pretty sharp number. Don't like that. I'm going to tell you, I think the Colts are. There's no way in hell the Colts are going 500. With Andrew Luck just coming back in like this, I know their division is a little weaker, but teams are moving in the right direction in that division. And I don't see the Colts doing it. So I do like the under on the Colts. Miami, hey, you get to play the Bills twice. You get to play the Jets twice. You can pull off 4 wins right there. Yeah, one of our listeners, JWG1723, Colts are going to be terrible. Agree. There's no way the Colts should be at 7. So mark that one down as one I definitely like. And then the Redskins, I'd love to say that I really think they're convincingly going to go over. It all depends on how Alex Smith comes in, but it's tough when you come right off the bat into not only a new team or a new division. He's going to a new conference and everything. I think he'll be good though. But the Redskins always like to flirt with the 8-win record and then try to sneak in the playoffs with 9 or 10, which I think they could do, but it's not worth it. You're better off just on the Redskins betting them like in December when they usually go on their run than taking that spread there. So all those numbers, I tell you, Bears, Colts. All right, good there. We're good there. Moving right along. 7.5 wins. So these are the teams they're just expecting to be just a little bit better, or possibly right around that 500 number. They've got the Denver Broncos, the Detroit Lions, and the New York Giants, all predicted to be right around, if not below 500. I would not touch the Giants. I think the Giants are capable of definitely a 9-7, a 10-6 this year, because I am predicting the demise of some teams in that division. I'll get to in a second. The Detroit Lions, I don't know. I don't like it. I think they're an 8-8 team. I mean, they got who was the highest paid quarterback in the league for a while. He needs to prove himself. Johnny Whitewater, he says, the Bears are a 7-win team to go back to the previous one. And, the Bears' win total did not change, by the way, after the Khalil Mack trade. Not really how it works in football. I mean, if it was a quarterback, maybe, but they don't do that. The Denver Broncos, 7.5 wins. I think that's an under. I think this team is going to suck. There you go. I'm giving another one out. I think the Giants could be an over, but I'm not saying put your money on it because of Eli Manning. I do like the Denver Broncos to go under 7.5 wins. Book that one. Should have a sound effect, but I'm trying to just get through this here. You guys know what's up. What do we got to do now? We went through that. We went through 7.5. Now what do we got? 8. Who are these? 8 win. So these are the teams that are predicted to have winning records. 8 wins. Or at least 500. Again, you know when you bet these, if they go 8-8, these teams, you'd just be a push. Wouldn't make any money. But you wouldn't lose any money. 8 wins. The Raiders, the 49ers, and the Tennessee Titans. Interesting group of teams there. 2 Bay Area teams, and then Tennessee. Tennessee getting a lot of hype. Don't you guys think? Like, for what? What have they proven? And Mariota, what is he? He hasn't proven a damn thing yet. So this is high hopes for Tennessee. And the Raider thing, it could go either way this year. I don't want to count them out. Everyone's hyping up the Chargers in that division, but I don't count the Raiders out. I think with what happened last season, they've got a little chip on their shoulder. I know they've lost Mac, and they should have got that deal done, but the business side of things didn't allow it to. And the 49ers winning 8 games, no. So Raiders and Titans, I don't like too much. 49ers are not winning 8 games. I'm going to get some mad people. I think there's some people that listen that I personally know that like the Niners. So let's check the chat just really quick. Oh, nobody got mad. See, and these lower numbers too, I don't feel as, or these mid-range numbers, I don't feel as great about. I'll let you know when I see one that's like out of this world. But I do think the 49ers they're not going to get 9 wins. Everybody got Jimmy G hype end of the season. I know he's undefeated, and Kyle Shanahan is the next coming of his dad in his prime. But come on, it's going to be tough for them to move their way up. I'll give them like maybe 6 and 10, but I don't see the Niners going that well. All right, now we got to find 8.5. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're missing some killer graphics, man. Oh, I said that. There we go. YouTube, stream 35. No space, and then you can get on it. And people are starting to chat it up on there, too. Buy Jimmy G, sell Brady. One of listeners says, a pissed off Malcolm Butler is worth 2 wins. Maybe. I don't know about that. Okay, 8.5 wins. Here we go. The Baltimore Ravens, the Carolina Panthers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs with essentially rookie QB. I know he was with the team last year, Mahomes, are getting a lot of respect based on, I guess, what they did last year too. The Baltimore Ravens, I don't know. I think I'm gonna say, and the Cowboys and the Panthers could very well win 10 again. Don't go there. I think they've got the Saints, the big talk of the town right now in the NFC South. But I still think the Panthers they could flirt with 10 wins. So that one scares me. Baltimore Ravens, I think they're going to be crap this year. But the thing is, people say, well, you get the 2 wins against the Browns. And you're a quarter there. But they've got the Browns at 6.5 if you missed the beginning of the show. And if you're watching this tape, to rewind. Because that's crazy. Or 6, I'm sorry. Baltimore, I kind of like the under on Baltimore. Dallas, the Skins fan in me tells me under, but the actual situation, I think that Dallas can actually win this division. And then Kansas City, I don't know. I want to say under there too, but I like the Raven under out of all of those. And you can agree to disagree with me on any of that. Moving right along. Now let's get to the 9-win teams. Only one 9-win team. The Houston Texans. And I want to see Deshaun Watson do what he did last year for a full season. So I'm going to say don't touch it. I do think it's high. But that division, come on now. Who's coming out of that division? I mean, it's, yeah, I don't want to piss off any. Well, you guys agreed with me with the Colts for the most part, whoever's listening live here. But yeah, I gotta say, I want to do under, but I think Watson's going to come through again. I think I would love to see him go 10-6 and take that division. So we'll see. All right, that was your 9 wins. 9.5. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, fellas and ladies. 9.5. The Atlanta Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the San Diego Chargers. Kidding. LA Chargers. You guys didn't even catch that. All right, so Atlanta, they always find a way to flirt right around with 9 or 10. And I think they've got one more year left in the 10. Two awful losses, by the way. They should have had a Super Bowl ring. They could have actually had 2 Super Bowl rings. I don't know if they would have beaten New England twice, but I'm just saying they should have won that Philly game, that playoff game. So they've got a chip. This thing might be running out. Yeah, why all the hype on the Chargers? El Guapo, one of our listeners says. I was just going to get to that. First of all, take the under in Jacksonville. Just trust me. Blake Bortles, not again. That might be the single best one we've seen so far. Under 9.5 wins, Jacksonville Jaguars. Please just do that. Chargers, I don't see all the hype either. But here's the thing that scares me about that one. I just told you I think Denver sucks. I think KC's going to have a bad year, at least the first time around with this Mahomes guy. And I also think that the Raiders are iffy. So San Diego could actually win a few games. And I like their coach too. All right, let's go to 10. 10's kind of crowded, from what I remember. Let's see what we got here. You guys are keeping it civil. I appreciate that. No, there's a Cowboy fan trying to cause some trouble in the YouTube chat. Spoke too soon. Okay, 10 wins. Can you believe they've got 6 teams that they're basically saying could win 11 games? Because, of course, 10, if you bet this, is a push. They've got 6 teams they're saying they're going to win 11 games. Have you ever seen the NFL that top-heavy? No. It's all about parity in the NFL. So let's put it this way. 4 of these unders, and I haven't really given you any overs, but when I play these, I don't usually play overs. I just haven't seen an over that I really love either. So out of these, I'm telling you, if you played all of these, you're going to go 4-2. Just mark my word on that. If you want to play it like that, if you like to play it safe, if you want to play it like you would play the stock market, I'm telling you right now, 2 of these teams might win 10, and maybe none of them win 11. So we've got the Green Bay Packers, the LA Rams, the Minnesota Vikings, the New Orleans Saints, Philadelphia Eagles, and Pittsburgh Steelers. Philadelphia Eagles do under 10. I'm telling you, they could get back in the playoffs, but if they do, I just don't see it being 11. NFC East has tough matchups this year. The Saints, I would stay away from. That's one of the hype teams that I'm kind of buying into, especially they coming off that horrible loss in the playoffs. I thought they had enough to win it last year, and they didn't even get their crap together until what? November? So don't go there. Steelers, they got the Ravens with a high win total, but the Browns are still going to suck, so they find a way to get their 10 wins. And I think their schedule is a little more favorable this year. So Vikings, love the under. Love the under on the Vikings. There's no way. They do have a great defense. There's no way they're matching that up. And then we've got the Rams, I'm going to say under too. I would say you should play the under on probably all of these teams except for the Saints and the Steelers. So that's what I'm going with. All right? We're good here? We're good here. Let's keep it moving. I should play some, it's like quiet in here. I need some flow going, so hold on. I'm going to play some, what should we play? NFL Films music. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for the YouTube audience on that. NFL Films music. I'm going to cue some up. We'll have it playing real low. YouTube shouldn't have a problem with it. Okay, so 10.5, they don't have anybody with a line set at 10.5, at least on the even numbers. Again, on your books, you can also find alternate numbers, but you're going to pay different prices for them. All the numbers I pulled up are basically minus 110 each way. For you players out there, you know what I'm talking about. So that just leaves, there's no 10.5s. So to finish up the win totals here, we will see they've got a team set at 11.5. You guys know who it is. I don't even have to make a graphic for this one. They've got a team set at 11.5, and you guys know how it. What is the thing? There we go. The New England Patriots, 11.5 wins. Unreal. Unreal. This number is always, every year this number is 11.5. And it hits somehow too. The over hits. I'm not doing the over. Are you guys doing the over? Patriots 11.5 wins. So they got to go 12-4. Otherwise the bet loses. 11-5 loses. I mean, I don't know like how you can just continue to have Tom Brady winning 12 games. I don't see it happening. I'm going to say play the under. But I'll catch a lot of flack if that's wrong. JWG1723 says in the chat, you get 5 automatic wins. Is that what you just said? 5 automatic wins in the AFC East. It is true. No one's proven differently, except for the Miami Dolphins when they're at home. But no one else has been able to figure that team out in, what, 20 years? And he just said, JWG just wrote that. Same thing I said, the Miami thing. Patriots can't win in Miami. All right, so I would lay off that one, actually. But if you're a real Patriot hater, play the under and make the season more fun for you when your team gets knocked out. Then you can start just rooting against the Patriots so you win some money. All right, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, again, if you want to watch on YouTube, it is Stream 35, no space. Bottom of the screen, I've got scroll. Our graphics department was hard at work. We got a scroll at the bottom screen of all the spreads and the totals. Of course, the home teams are most of the home teams favored if you look at some of the numbers. I could go over some of the trends that some of these teams have dealt with too. We're not going to get too. I mean, look, I give picks. Either you trust me or you don't. You want me to back up some of the info? I can do that, but this is just like where else can you come and just get straight picks without all the fluff? That's what we're doing here. And I'm tempted to open up the phones, but I don't know if you guys. It's still week 1. This is another thing. So, and I'll also tell you guys who I think you should take for your survivor as well. That's the last thing we'll get to before we close it up. But one thing I would like to note, the reason I did not do this for college this week, I really am usually really against betting in college the first 2 weeks if you're just looking at the spread straight up. I do a lot of teasers. So I like NFL Week 1 because I think you can find some advantages. Now, for those of you out there that play straight games, I don't like NFL Week 1 for straight games. I rarely like straight games until like towards the end of the season. So just keep that in mind. And then the totals, I stay away from Week 1 totals. You just don't know. I mean, if you see a really low one, you could actually probably pull an under. Or I'm sorry, if you see a really low one, you could pull it over here and there because Week 1 does have some high-scoring games, but there's always a landmine, which I call it. All right, with that being said, first game on the board. TW Hunt, you are welcome. Thanks for the total picks. Totals are great, by the way. It's just it's the best bang for your buck. You put in the bet, and all of them, none of them are over even by mid-season. You always have a chance. It is pure entertainment the entire year, and then you get a holiday bonus if you win. You sometimes even forget you bet them, and then New Year you get a New Year's Day bonus. I think the season runs a little longer this year, but to start the year, And if you play like 5 of them, you can go 4-1. You really can. So I told you the ones I like, and then you guys just figure out, use some of your insight, and you should get be able to clear the board there. All right. Oh man, I just shut the screen. I was looking at. I was going to talk about the first game of the of the NFL season, Thursday night in Philadelphia, Super Bowl champs against Atlanta. That game I was just talking about. The Atlanta Falcons, of course, blowing it in Philly. And that was for a trip to the NFC title game. I'll tell you, I looked at some trends on this. So the spread, I told you the spread's at the bottom of the screen there, if you can catch them. Philly is a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 45. Do I like the game? If you tease it. I love it if you tease it. Even on a 7-point tease, I would love to get Atlanta plus 9.5. The first games of the season are always on the NBC Thursday night game. They always find a way to find the greatest game ever. Just kicks off the season, gets everybody going. Ratings are through the roof, and that's the way I look at playing the game. I would not touch the total. I'm not saying it's going to be all fireworks, but the game is going to be a 1-score game. So, Atlanta Falcons. Some of the trends that I took a peek at. What I like to look at in week 1 is like how teams fare last year. And yeah, Atlanta against the spread last year was 8-10. So they weren't like a great spread team. Philadelphia, of course, had the amazing season. They were 13-6 against the spread. And then I always look at the over-unders. Atlanta, over-under, 5 of their games last year went over, 13 under. And that kind of has to do with the new, they made it a point because the year before they really felt like their defense failed them. So they did have a lot of low-scoring games last year. Eagles, on the other hand, were pretty much 500, which is what the bookies want, is where half your games go over, half go under, so you can't tell. So for people that like to play totals, I just threw that out there. Historically, Philadelphia has great success against Atlanta against the spread. 12-5 since 1992. Just another thing to let you know, if you do think about playing that game straight, Atlanta has not had much success. Moving right along. We have what's going on here? Sorry, I had everything set up here. I shut all my windows. I got it back up now. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. A division rivalry to start off the season. The Cleveland Browns are predicted to win 6 games this year, unbelievably. Are 4.5-point underdogs at home. The home open. They're trying to hook Cleveland up here. They're like, listen, we're going to give you the Steelers, your crosstown rival. We're going to give you the game at home. The place is going to be rocking. You're going to have good weather. No excuses to beat these guys. And JWG, one of our commenters, who I know knows the game well, he says, Pitt crushes them. I don't agree. Pittsburgh has had some struggles against Cleveland, even in these winless years, at least in usually the game in Cleveland. The game in Pittsburgh, totally different story. So I'm just going to tell you guys, this spread opened at 6.5. Don't be so sure. There's a reason for that. Let's put it that way. I see a field goal type of game. I would not recommend playing this game straight. And on the flip side, with JWG, our commenter there, he says it could be a blowout. I'm not disagreeing with that. That's why I wouldn't do the Browns on a teaser either. So I don't like this game. If you want just some historical stats of Pittsburgh-Cleveland against the spread, Pittsburgh is barely above 500, 25-21. And yeah, JWG also points out on our chat that they're getting Hard Knocks money. That means, whoever was on Hard Knocks gets a lot of bets. Le'Veon Bell does not look like he'll be playing in this one. Doubtful. I'm just addressing some of the comments here that I'm getting on the website. And I'm catching up on. I'm trying to follow 2 chats here on my own, so sorry about that. Oh, you guys are chatting it up there. That's good. If you got a question, let me know. But the Le'Veon Bell question to TW Hunt, he is doubtful. So we don't know that yet, and that might move the spread a little. I just don't like this game. If you want to know last year what the teams did, Cleveland was horrible against the spread, 4-12. And then the over-unders, they were right around about half and half. Half their games went over, half went under. The Steelers last year were 7-10 against the spread, so they weren't so great. And only 6 of their games went over. So they played a lot of unders. What do they got the total at that again? Checking this one more. 46? Yeah, I don't. It's too close. I don't like this game at all, but we talk about all the games here just for fun. Next game on the docket, 1 p.m. Eastern game, 49ers at Minnesota. So Jimmy G against Kirky. Let's see what we got here. The San Francisco 49ers. This spread opened up at 4.5. Minnesota minus 4.5. This is in Minnesota. Sorry about that. Total's 47. Game opened up at minus 4.5. Now it is minus 6. And I don't know what I have down on the scroll there. The scroll, I took those spreads this morning, so I've got some real current ones happening. Minnesota Vikings minus 6. No way. And I know I was knocking the 49ers. But no, that spread is not down to 3.5, Jimmy the Greek. If you got 3.5, you should jump on it. I've got live numbers right now. It's minus 6. I got the Vegas. I got the Vegas numbers, the Mirage. Yeah, so I'm going to say on the teaser, again, I hope you took note. I like Falcons teasing them up. I love 49ers to tease them up. I mean, if you do 10-point teasers, you got to remember, you're going to get over 2 touchdowns there. No way Minnesota's going to blow those guys out. Shanny, here's the thing. You want me to go further? I told you I'm not going to recommend straight games in the week 1. I'm going to recommend to take even the 49ers straight. Kyle Shanahan made Kirk Cousins what he is, whatever he is. But the people that love him, that's all Kyle Shanahan. You mean to tell me he's not going to figure out how to beat this guy? The money line's plus 215, by the way. All right, I'll just leave it at that. Let's make sure you guys aren't talking any shit. All right, no, playing. All right, moving right along. Cincinnati at Indianapolis. Oh, who wants to watch this game? Indianapolis Colts minus 3. They're at home, and then the total right now is 48.5. Andrew Luck is probable he's going to play. I just don't. This game's a toss-up. Who really cares about this? Don't do it. I don't care how degenerate. There's too many games this week. There's a full slate. No reason to bet this game or the total. Last year, Cincinnati against the spread was actually 9-7. You know that, guys? Colts were 8-8. Colts only had 6 overs last year, as did Cincinnati. This could actually be an under, but again, I'm not doing any totals in week 1. So, dead that. Let's get away from that game. Disgusting little game. This isn't much better. The Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. This has the biggest movement that we've seen out of all the games. This game opened up at Baltimore minus 3.5 at home. And now that everybody realizes the Bills, how bad they are, and that Nathan Peterman, I played the hype video for you, is their man, they're saying that the Ravens now are going to win by 7.5. So it went from 3.5 to 7.5. 4-point move. And the Bills are, as I was saying in the win totals, predicted to win less than 5 games, let's just say, for the season. Will this be one of them in Baltimore? No. And I'm hesitant to just say take Baltimore because first game, you don't know a lot of what's going on. But, oh, McCoy also looks like he's going to play in this game, for those that are wondering. Last year, let's just look at the trends. This is a game I don't like either, by the way. Looking at some of the trends, the Bills against the spread 9-6, and over/unders were pretty much half and half. And then Baltimore was 8-7 against the spread last year, and their over/unders were half and half. Both very hard teams to bet on based on last year, and I think that will continue for this game. Next game up. I like how quiet you guys are. I need you listening. Jacksonville Jaguars at the New York Giants. And the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who would have just imagine how this sounds based on the last 2 decades of football? The Jacksonville Jaguars are road favorites in New Jersey. Oh, boy. Yes, I know Jacksonville was a game from the Super Bowl last year. Yes, I know the Giants were god-awful last year. But you cannot tell me in the home opener that Jacksonville's going to pull it. I don't see how Jacksonville's going to pull this game off. I'm going, this might be the only money line I give in a week 1. It's worth a run to do the Giants. But, again, play it safe. I gave you a couple of teaser. What did I say? I said I like the Niners on the teaser. I like the Falcons on teaser. Of course, teaser, you got to at least do 3, right? This could be the 3rd. I'll let you know as we're going through them. But I would like to take the Giants plus 10, whatever. If you do a 10-point teaser, you get plus 13. In order for Jacksonville to win this game, it's going to have to be really, really close. So that's what I got there. Also at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will travel to New Orleans. This is the biggest spread on the board. I know we've got the spreads down there below. It is up to 9.5 now. Saints being favored. We will not see Jameis Winston, of course. He is suspended, so keep that in mind. The spread opened at a touchdown. And what else can I tell you about this game? Based on last year, the Saints just have a tough time against this team. Just don't forget that. If you're going to play straight, be cautious. The Saints have a tough time against Tampa Bay. They actually have a losing record against the spread, believe it or not, in the last 10 years to the Bucs. So last year the Bucs were about 500 against the spread, as were the Saints. And the over/unders, Saints had 11 overs last year, if you're looking at that total. But I would not suggest teasing the Bucs up. And I guess this is the survivor pick. This is the survivor pick. New Orleans Saints. That's what I would use this for. I wouldn't put it on the teaser. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because you know why? I'm not taking the Saints. Once the Saints get going, they have weird games and weird losses. You know what I'm talking about mid-season. Home opener, solid. I would not care about using the Saints right off the jump. They're just one of those Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde teams. All right. The game I will be at, make sure you check your local listings, Sports USA Radio. I will be working this one in New England, in Foxborough. The Houston Texans will travel to New England Patriots. Last year when they played, that was a hell of a game. They did play last year in Foxborough. And the Texans should have won because there was a shitty call on what they ruled a catch. But in every other game that week, that particular weekend, was ruled incompletion. If you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. I won't goal than that, Brandon Cooks. But Deshaun Watson played his ass off there, so you got to think he's going to be loose. And they've got the Patriots right now favored. It's going up. Of course, the Pats are favored. Or no, actually, it's stuck at what it opened at. Opened at 6.5, and right now it is currently 6.5. It went back to what had it opened at. Last year, if you want to know, the Houston Texans were 7-9 against the spread. Patriots were 12-7. Both teams had more unders than overs, but 7-9 and then 9-10 for the Patriots. This game, I do like Houston as a tease up. I'm okay with that. I don't like it on a tease up at a 7-point teaser because then you're only getting 13.5. So I'm not going to tell you how to play it, but if you're doing a 10-point teaser, I even get into the 13-point teasers, which are amazing for the NFL. Pretty good. This is the highest total game, but yeah, if you did Houston like a 10, even on a 10, you're not getting the great 17 number. You're getting the 2 touch. You have to figure you're only getting 14 when you get 16.5 because games really come down to 16 points. This is the highest total game though, 51. If you're a total guy, that might be an under there. Not going to recommend it, but just looking from a distance, it seems like an under to me. Just keeping an eye on the chat. Jameis Winston talk. Everybody loves Jameis. Tennessee Titans are heading to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Titans favored by a point. This is basically a pick 'em. 45 is the over-under. Hate the game. Tennessee's supposed to be good. We'll see. They don't. Tannehill's back for the Dolphins, so it's a home opener. Last year, these teams were like 500 against the spread. Oh no, Miami was a little worse. They were 5-9-2 against the spread. Tennessee was 9-8-1. Tennessee had more overs and unders, and then Miami had the same amount. That's last year, but I don't like this game. Wait and see what these teams are really about. Kansas City Chiefs at Los Angeles Chargers. Spread is 3, a field goal. Over under 48. Big game for the new man behind or in the saddle for Kansas City, Mahomes, and Chargers get to play in their 20,000 person stadium. Maybe sell it out. Maybe it'll be full this time. Who knows? Doubt it. I don't like the game either. It's gonna be the kind of game that you'll look back on when this thing's said and done, because I think those will be the two teams that should be fighting for the division. But Raiders might have something to say about that. Seattle at Denver. Denver -3. Okay. This is going to be a low-scoring game, and the total is indicative of that. It's 43 points. This I also like to tease up. You've noticed I haven't said tease anything down yet, because in week 1 you just can't do it. Tease up here, and you can pull Seahawks plus double digits. And in a low-scoring game, double digits are tough. I like Seattle in that one, but again, that would be on a tease. The Dallas Cowboys are heading to Carolina. These are the late games. Kansas City out in LA is obviously a late game. Seattle at Denver, late. This is actually the primetime game on Fox. Cowboys, go figure. Cowboys versus Cam. We've got right now the Carolina Panthers favored by a field goal. What are we looking for in this matchup here? I think these guys played. If it wasn't last year, I feel like these two teams always have some crazy close games. I think this game will tell us a lot about where we could be heading with these two teams. I don't like the game. I think something in my gut is telling me somebody's going to blow the crap out of the other team. And I don't know who. So I'll just leave it at that. Another game that's a pick-em. This is interesting. This game has been taken off the board. Is there something I don't know about? They just took it off the board recently. I know it's a pick-em. Or at least the Cardinals were favored by 1. The Redskins at Arizona. Cardinals favored by 1. Yeah. No, thank you. What'd they have the over-under at? I think it was 48. Who knows? Who knows about this? And if you're wondering, last year, both of these teams were 500 against the spread. It's just what you get. So definitely don't play it. It might be worth teasing because it probably could be a field goal game, but I think there's better things to tease on that one. All right, we're getting to the end here. What do we got? We had Sunday Night Football yet? Yes, we are. Sunday Night Football. The Chicago Bears, Monsters of the Midway, traveling to Green Bay. 8:20 p.m. Well, I should say 7:20 p.m. local time. Should be pretty chill, right? Considering they start drinking at 7:30 a.m. That's 12 hours of drinking before the game even starts. If you guys have never heard the Green Bay Packers police scanner, you might want to follow them on Twitter before Sunday night. It's pretty fun, particularly for these night games. So the Packers, big favorite, 7.5, expected. Bears, I don't know. They sometimes play these guys tough, but I think they're really screwing the Bears over by making this game home opener on a Sunday night. I think the crowd will affect this game, and I don't see the Bears doing it. And I think it's a pretty sharp spread. So I do like the Packers. If you really want to save the Saints, what I'd say with this game, yeah, but you know what? No, just do the Saints. Don't do a Bear-Packer game in your Survivor. That would be dumb. I had to think about that for a second. I feel like doing a Redskin-Cowboy game in your Survivor. You never do that. You never know what could happen. But I do like the Packers to win big. Okay. Monday night, 2 games, the doubleheader, the last 2 games. New York Jets heading to Detroit. And in that one, Detroit is favored by 6.5. Sam Darnold is going to get the start there. Over-under is 45. And don't like that game. Don't like it at all. But that's where we're at. And if you want to know what these two teams did last year against the spread, they were both 500 against the spread. It's crazy. They had a lot of teams like that. And that's why it was tough for bettors. I think this year we're going to have some bigger spreads. Well, according to the win totals, it looks like 5 teams are running the league. So that never happens, of course, with parity. But they've got 5 teams, according to the win totals, winning double digits. I don't know about that. That is wild. And then the last game, which starts at 10:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, NFL, for accommodating to the East Coast audience here. The Rams are playing the Oakland Raiders, and the Rams are a road favorite. So to recap, we have, if you want to count the Tennessee Titans as one road favorite, we only have 2 other road favorites. The Jacksonville Jaguars, -3 in New York, and the LA Rams, -4 at Oakland. I love the tease on this one, taking Oakland up. If you get it up to even a 7-pointer at 11, I think this is going to be a close game. I even might start feeling the Oakland money line, depending on how the rest of these plays go. But I do like Oakland. I just like Oakland at home on Monday night. No disrespect to the Rams. I still think they're going to bring a very good team. But that's what I got to say about that one. So that does it. How long did we go for? We got that done in about 30 minutes, right? No, we started at 5. That took an hour. That's because I had to do all the win totals. I'm looking to get this thing down when the season starts to about 30 minutes. But we had to do all the win totals. So make sure you reference this show here. I'll save it on both the YouTube channel, and I'll also save it on MixLR. So I know some of you were listening at work and had to break out, but don't worry, just catch it on the replay. Okay, so with that, that's week 1. There's a lot more to come as far as football is concerned for shows, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. And make sure you just subscribe to Stream 35 on YouTube. Stream 35, no space, and then also follow on MixLR. Then you'll know when we go live, and if you miss it, just catch it on the recording. But yeah, thanks for everybody listening. Everybody chatted. El Guapo, you want to eat a W? No, not if it's from Jameis Winston's fingers. I missed that one, but yeah, we'll keep doing this. You've been listening to Stream 35 Radio. NFL Week 1 Swamy Pick Show, and we will see you next week. Peace.